Hello and welcome to Prairie Pulse. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll take a look at an artist from Polk County, Minnesota, Jessica Pribula. But first, joining me now is the president of United Way of Cast Clay, Christy Huber. Christy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
As we get started, we always do, tell the folks a little bit about yourself and your background.
Absolutely. I grew up in Elbow Lake, Minnesota, and had an opportunity to go to Concordia College. I had a business and English double major with a minor in communications. And after college, moved away from the community, but very quickly learned that I missed this beautiful community and all of the things that this community offers. And so moved back, had worked in several different companies and volunteered for United Way of Cast Clay, and really enjoyed their mission and felt connected to their mission. And so when I had an opportunity to join the team first as the resource development director, I really enjoyed that. And now coming back as the president, it's been an honor.
Well, good. Well, you already got how did you arrive there. So well, let's talk about the job as president, because obviously you've only had that title position since May, I believe. And how's the transition gone?
It's been incredible. I have absolutely enjoyed having an opportunity to both work with our nonprofit partners in the community and have in-depth conversations with them, but then also have wonderful meetings with our community partners as well. And just it's exciting to see how interested they are in understanding the needs of the community, but also understanding how that they can get involved.
Okay. Well, now, of course, you're the president of Cast Clay. There are other United Ways around our region that I would think would be very similar to yours, but they just concentrate on their community. So what exactly does United Way do?
People are often surprised to find out that United Way is actually one of the largest nonprofits in the world. And what's unique about United Way is specifically how we get to focus on the needs that are specifically in our communities. And so our United Way focuses just on Cass and Clay counties, and that enables us to be really laser focused on understanding how we can help those in need here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand you're going into a big fundraising campaign. Can you talk about that some?
You know, the unique thing is that in the past we would focus on a fall campaign, but now with the changes that have happened, we work specifically around year-round, working with companies and individuals that want to be involved with our work and want to invest in the community in programs that have a wonderful return on investment and help many people, both individuals, families, and children.
Yeah, with that said, United Way, for you, I guess, Cast Clay, what organizations do you serve in those two counties?
We work with many nonprofit partners that do great work across the community. We work with we make investments in over 60 different programs that all reach specifically to 4 bold goals that we have. And we want to make sure that we are helping reduce hunger and homelessness. We want to make sure that we're preparing children to succeed. We want to help people live independently, and we want to help lift people out of poverty. And so all of those organizations that we work with are really laser focused in one of those areas.
Now, do other United Ways in other regions, are they similar in what you do as far as the organizations that they serve?
They're very similar in their areas, their focus areas that they have in their areas. It's just how they do it is sometimes a little bit different.
Yeah.
I would say that across the board, nationally, we see United Ways wanting to focus on building blocks of having a healthy and successful life for their communities. But in each community, it looks a little different depending on what resources are available, what programming is available, and partnerships and collaborations that are available.
Okay, sure. I understand you recently did a Day of Caring. Can you talk about what is that about?
Oh, it's so fun. It is actually, this year was our 25th annual Day of Caring. And it was absolutely incredible to be able to connect our community members with senior citizens that need a little bit of help, whether it be some fall cleaning, whether it be some fall raking, small projects around the house. It was fun to be able to make those connections, and it's actually one of the largest volunteer opportunities that our community has. This year we had over 1,300 volunteers that helped over 400 senior citizens make their day just a little bit better.
Wow. You talked some about the emphasis on education, income stability, and health. Can you expand more on what you're really doing in those areas?
Absolutely. So that is those building blocks to a good life that I talked about earlier. Many of our United Ways across the country have really focused in on that. We wanted to take that one step further, and that's why we, in the spring last year, in March, during our annual meeting, came out with our 4 bold community impact goals.
Well, then what are those 4 bold goals again?
Yes. So again, we wanted to make sure that we focused on where the needs really are in our community. United Way of Cass Clay, we get to sit at a really unique place in the community where we see the needs just a little bit differently. We're not focusing on one, we're focusing on really all of those areas. So we focus on making sure that we can help our community in different ways. And so our 4 bold goals are really reducing hunger and homelessness. We want to make sure that we can prepare all students for success. We want to see our future workforce be ready and prepared and successful, and so that's why investing in kids is truly a passion for us. We want to make sure that we help people live independently, so not only senior citizens, but also those that may have disabilities. We want to make sure that we can help them, and then also lifting people out of poverty as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know, with the community population growing and things, you're concentrating, I guess, on different services, but especially where children are involved. Can you talk about some of that?
Absolutely. When we think about slowing the cycle of poverty, we know that that starts with investing in programming that will help children succeed. And so as early as possible, we want to make those investments. One of the programs that we invest in is our Nurse Family Partnership program, where a nurse will go out and meet with a low-income mother, first-time mother, and making sure that she's healthy, making sure that if there's any drinking or smoking or domestic violence in the home, that they have an opportunity to really mentor that first-time mom through some of those issues. And we're seeing a great return on investment. We're seeing kids that are born healthier, families that are healthier as well, and we know that early intervention is often our best return on investment.
Mm-hmm. And with that then, are you how much impact and how much influence are you having with different school districts?
Well, that's just another area that we see. It's at that continuum as a child grows, making sure that they're healthy when they're born, but then making sure that we have great early child care available. We invest a lot in early child care scholarships that prepare children so that when they get to school, they're ready to learn. And then we do a lot of work within the schools as well and programming that helps children, whether it be through literacy programs or other programs. We want to make sure that kids have the tools they need in order to be successful.
Well, so we've talked about children here, but you know, with the population growing somewhat, especially for Cass Clay, here other communities may be different. Are you seeing more people with needs?
We are. We continue as we see the community grow. We also see challenges for many families. It's amazing when you think about how families, many of them are really living on the bubble and sometimes paycheck to paycheck, and you can see that reflected in the statistics. We know that 1 in 8 are living in poverty in our community, and so we want to make sure that we can do what we can to slow that cycle of poverty, and investing in kids to make sure that they're ready to learn is a really important piece of that.
Okay, but now understand maybe you've changed the way you invest dollars that come from the community. Have you changed it?
You know, I think if you looked into the history, we have a long history with our community, you might see that in the past, early on, we were seen as maybe a community chest, where we would raise lots of dollars and then send them out to many different organizations in the community. But now with the way that technology and the way that data is available, it's important for us to make those solid investments with our community partners. We ask them to provide data back so that we can share that back with the community, and so that they know that their return on their investment is solid when they invest in our community through United Way.
Mm-hmm. Well, with that then, so if somebody participates in any way with United Way with their money, where does that money go?
It stays local. 99% of the dollars that are raised stay right here in Cass and Clay counties. And that's so important because so many people have those questions. They want to invest locally. They want to know that those dollars are making a difference in our community, and they can feel assured that when they give to United Way, they are staying local. Just a very small percent goes back to United Way worldwide, but we utilize that so that we can have access to marketing and other information so we know what's happening in the rest of the world as well as the country.
Well, sure. So are most all United Ways similar, that the money stays in their community?
Absolutely, yes. It's very important. That's a very important piece of the model. The good news is that we have the ability to invest locally and in programs locally that would be different perhaps than other organizations and other different communities. So we have a great deal of opportunity to really focus on the needs here, where we know the needs are the greatest.
Well, I do understand that you also partner with Prairie Public
Yes.
some to promote literacy. And even though I understand this one better, can you tell us about that?
Oh, we love Share a Story. Share a Story in the spring is absolutely one of our most fun events that we get to partner on with you. Thank you for being a great partner in that. We believe that that is one of the events that right after the school is done. It's in June every year, and it's a great way for our kids in our community to stay excited about reading and literacy over the summer. Sometimes they think that when school is done, they can walk away from books, and we would say that it's important for their families to stay engaged and stay interested in reading to their children all year long, not just during the school year.
Mm-hmm. You know, we talked about emphasis on education, income stability, health. I mean, it sounds like it kind of fits our mission here at Prairie Public. You need to really make sure that the children have that at a young age, because it can make such a difference for them.
Oh, absolutely. We make investments in Imagination Library, which is a fantastic program that actually all parents have to do is let us know that they have a little one at home. And as early as birth, we can start sending books to the homes of families in our local community. And so each month a child receives a book up to age 5. Their last book is actually a send-off to kindergarten book, and really gets them excited. But we know that kids that are being read to at home, they do better in school, they're more prepared to learn, and it's a really important piece. And so that's one of the investments that we make. Last year, over 100,000 books went out in our community to children in our community.
Well, our research at Prairie Public shows us that, or tells us that children learn to read till about age 8, and then they read to learn. Mm-hmm. And so that is so important.
We would absolutely subscribe to that same theory, and that's why we make such great partners, especially from Share a Story. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Well, can you talk some more about this different organizations that you partner with?
Oh, absolutely. You know, again, I think that it's important for you to know that as we've moved into these different areas, our 4 bold community goals, we have looked at partners that are specifically helping in those areas. We work with a lot of different partners because there is a lot of need across the community, but making sure that they're all focused on our same 4 goals is really an important piece of that.
Mm-hmm. When I understand you have a 35 under 35 women's leadership program.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that one?
That absolutely has become just one of the cornerstones of our community. We know that there are each year over 100 women that apply for those 35 slots. So it's become a very competitive program, but we believe that over the last 8 years, it's become a program that many people really seek out, and it's become helpful for just women in the community that are interested in uncovering more skills that they have, increasing their network of contacts, and helping the companies that they come from do more things in the community. So it's just been an inspiring program to watch and to see what many of these young leaders have done, not only in their own companies, but also in our community.
Well, so if somebody's interested in 35 under 35, and that means you take 35 women that are under 35 years old,
yes,
and they go through a multiple week program, or what is it?
It's actually a 6-month program. So
6 months.
Each year, the program starts in January and it runs until June, and they meet one day during each of those months. So over that course of time, they have access to many different leaders in our community. They have opportunities for skill building, and they have opportunities to give back as well.
Well, so if anybody's interested in that, I assume they can go to your website.
Absolutely, would love to have them check
Because
that out.
but talk more about, so we've talked about young people, but do you have programs that also support elderly?
Absolutely. So our Day of Caring is one of our biggest events that we do in order to make sure that senior citizens in our community, that they know that they're not alone. Many senior citizens, when they sign up for that Day of Caring, they originally tell us that they've got programs or projects that they want us to help them with, but sometimes it's just about having our volunteers come and sit and maybe look at pictures, sometimes just have a cup of coffee, and it really does mean a lot to those people in our community that have that need.
Okay, but I'm sure there's more than just the Day of Caring that you have for
Absolutely. So one of the programs that we work with is Community of Care, and it's a rural based program that helps connect volunteers with needs of senior citizens in the rural North Dakota community. And it's exciting to see what they're doing and how lives are being changed through those connections.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've been in the role now for a few months. Talk about your goals. What are you looking at? How do you see the future for United Way for Cass Clay?
Absolutely. I would say that one of my passions is making sure that our millennials that we have that are coming into their first, second jobs in our community, that they feel connected back to the needs of the community. And United Way is really well positioned to be able to help make those connections. We collaborate with many different organizations, and so we want to provide opportunities for them to have access to some of our leaders. We have a new program this year, which is Emerging Leaders in Giving, which provides an opportunity for those people who are under the age of 40 who want to give back both financially and with their time. They can sign up through their workplace campaign, and we can connect them throughout the year with specific events that we have. We have different volunteer opportunities specifically for them, but also we have opportunities for them to meet some of our philanthropic leaders in our community. And so many of our companies are talking about that as they do their workplace campaigns, but there's more information about Emerging Leaders in Giving also on our website.
Okay. So what about staffing for your organization and then volunteers?
Absolutely. So we have, just an amazing team at United Way. I'm so grateful every day to be able to work with them. We have 12 people on our team. Our team has grown over the years, but we run with a very lean team as well. We make the most. One of the things we're so grateful for is our volunteers. We have an amazing base of volunteers with over 1,300 that are helping with Day of Caring this year. And actually with our school supply drive that we had over 500 volunteers that helped us pack over 5,800 backpacks with school supplies for kids in our community this year. And so over 5,000 backpacks went back into the community, and again is just a really important way for us to make sure that kids have what they need to have their best first day. So we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers. We're very grateful for them.
Well, 12 staff, that's not a lot of staff. It's not for all the things that you've listed here. If people want to get involved, who do they contact? Where can they go? What can they do?
Oh, there's so many ways. We want to connect with them. They can find out more about what's going on our website. We also have a very active social media page on our Facebook page as well as Twitter. And then if they want to get involved, just call us. That's where we'd love to have a conversation, and finding out so much more about where people want to be plugged in. That's where the real magic happens, when we can make those really meaningful connections.
All right. So do you have a website they can find out a lot of information about?
We are at UnitedWayCassClay.org.
Okay. Well, Christy, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. This was a wonderful experience.
Okay. Stay tuned for more. Artist Jessica Pribula has merged her love for fiber arts and her skill as a weaver with her fine arts education to create a unique medium in which to express her creativity. In her home in rural Polk County in Minnesota, Jessica draws inspiration from the landscape around her.
I really must be a fiber artist at heart, because I keep coming back to, using the quilting tools or the weave or the colors as inspiration. I've been working as an artist since I was in high school, and probably even before then. I was introduced to weaving at the University of North Dakota, and weaving became meditative, like a way to express myself, kind of lose myself as an artist in the process of creating. I was accepted to Central Washington University's master's program, and at that point they only had a painting program. They didn't have weaving or fibers. My challenge was, how do I combine this still life, this pastel work that I've been trained in, and this technical weaving? I still wanted to weave, I was missing weaving. And so I just started experimenting in my studio with the paper and cutting into the paper and weaving the paper. Can I create something that I felt a deeper connection to? The process starts with the sketch. You know, you can see I have some sort of sense of the lines, and you know, this would represent the weaving. Here's where I get to go back to my technical approach, and I really get to design almost as if I was weaving. So it's an interesting mix of the fiber arts and more of an expressionist painting style. This is something that I picked up when I was in college from my weaving teacher. So this is different ways to weave and to set up a loom. And so I take this and I translate that into my paper. Looks complicated, but it's really, once you get to know what you're doing, it's pretty simple. So I'll start with that sketch, and then we move to drawing everything out as accurately as possible, and then I move into the weaving, which is the cutting and the weaving back into the paper. Sometimes if I do make a mistake with a line, I can correct it, but other times I just have to make it work or change my design concept. And then before I begin, I usually end up just erasing some of the lines. The very first one is always a little bit hard with the small pieces. And this is when I have to remind myself to breathe. I get so caught up in the finishing or just the excitement of getting that finished weave that I just I forget to breathe. And then comes a period of waiting. I almost have to feel a sense of I'm ready to paint. I know what colors I want to paint, what the theme will be, how I'm going to move the paint around on the canvas. And that can take some time, because if you just wove a large piece in paper, once you put paint down on it, it's incredibly difficult to remove that. And so I really take a lot of time, and then I'll let things dry in between, or I'll come back in with different coats and different layers. And of course, usually add another medium on top. Yoga is a way to help center oneself and learn how to come back into my source of creation. I'm thinking about different concepts, whether it be color choices or theme choices. When I practice yoga, I feel I'm more grounded. There's things that I wasn't taught as an artist, how to balance my love of creating and the joy of creating and getting lost in that creation with sitting up nice and straight and taking a break so my eyes don't get tired. It's so hard. Sometimes, I just get lost and I don't want to pull myself away. And then when you do take a break, you can come back and you're much stronger. So you can see some of the different styles. I designed all of the lines based on a lace piece of fabric. You're creating an object more to look at. It's more of a precious object in a way, as opposed to something that you would wear. It has a different feel to it. The first body of work that I did with the weaving was inspired by my love of fashion design. I wanted to go into fashion design when I was in high school. A lot of my work is inspired by what the dress symbolizes for women and the concept of beauty itself. Now I'm coming back to more of an inspiration from the landscape and the sense of my surroundings. So I'm back in this space, and so I'm doing a little bit more traditional style with my non-traditional technique. It's been wonderful that I've been able to work as a ceramic artist in weaving. I've done design work on the computer, done mixed media, acrylic, oil. So I've had the opportunity to work in a lot of different media. It doesn't really matter to me what medium I'm working in. They're all so much fun and it's hard to give up one. For me, I would say my ultimate goal is bringing beauty into the world.
Well, that's all we have on Prairie Post this week. And as always, thanks for watching.
Funding for Minnesota Legacy programs are provided by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. And by the members of Prairie Public.